It's like a breath of fresh air, ain't it? I ain't on envy, I'm war ready. A young homie, work hard and play harder. That's why I snore heavy. How's it going, everybody? How we all doing? How's everybody doing tonight? Hey, yo, what up, what up? We are
Was
live. I appreciate all y'all that are tuning in. This is our 4th edition of the Lionheart Live Talk, and I'm pleased to, and I'm honored to have my boy Yaakov, my cousin, very successful guy, man. Not only is he the host of his own podcast, Outlet to Reality, he's also a comedian. He's also the executive producer of Take One, Pass It Back, and just an all-around solid entrepreneur and someone that I'm proud to say is family. So, real quick, Yaakov, I want you to just, tell people about yourself, let them know, who you are, and we'll go from there.
yeah, man. So as you guys know, I'm originally from Chicago, and I lived my whole life. And I moved to Vegas like 2 years ago, and I gotta say it was the best decision of my life. I feel like here I like this 24 hours. So if you need to get some Wingstop at 2 in the morning, you know where to go. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like I'm really into the arts. I know my cousin, Dre Marro for a minute. And I gotta say, man, like I remember when we were young kids, when we went out, man, we'd be like, man, that girl, she look cute. We gotta go talk to her. So, me and my cousin, we go way, way back to the dirty dirties, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. For a long time, we always had dreams to do something bigger than what, you know what I mean? Like you come from Chicago, I come from Kenosha, Wisconsin. It's literally like, you could throw a stone and hit Illinois from Kenosha. So we grew up humble and with aspirations. And the first thing I want to start out by saying is thank you so much. Every time that, you've had an opportunity to put me on your platform, you've been able to promote me, and you've always been a loyal friend of mine outside of just being my cousin. I remember back even years when I was at Chicago's Got Talent. Do you remember that? America's Got Talent edition. There was actually separate shows. One was Chicago's Got Talent with Dwayne Wade, and then there was America's Got Talent, was a TV show. And you stood in the line for me for like 6-7 hours, just trying to be positive because I was nervous. It was a big deal for me, and so you definitely helped me through that. I wanted to ask you about your stand-up comedy because I know that years ago, the first time I took a crack. Most people don't know I tried to be a stand-up comedian. They didn't boo me, so that was cool. I didn't really get I didn't get pop like I was Kevin Hart or like George Lopez, but it definitely gave me a perspective and a lot of respect for what stand-up comedians do. I think it takes a lot of talent and definitely takes a lot of guts. Tell us a little bit about that, if you could.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be real. Stand up is one of the hardest things. I'm gonna be honest. What I recommend to my people, my fans, is you have to not worry about rejection. There's gonna be people that are not gonna laugh. I've been in big crowds. Like I remember I did stand up. It was like about 40 people, and there was no Latino there. So I was trying to share a joke that was like about a Mexican barbecue, and nobody laughed. And I was like, dang, that was bad. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't funny. And I'm not gonna lie, you do get red and nervous. But one of the best tips I can give anybody, so for any open mic, if you're trying to go, they only give you about 5 minutes and that's it. So this is what I did. This is my little technique, but I'm gonna share it to everybody. When they call your name up, let the DJ know or the one who's controlling the music to put a song, because they're gonna put a song right when you're walking up to the mic. So the first thing I did to give me more time, I told the DJ to play some bachata. So I came up like ding, 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 ding. And the first thing I did, I danced, I did a little spin. I said, y'all, that was what you just saw was bachata, not horchata. You know what I'm saying? And all my white folks, they were laughing. They're like, man, he's funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Thank you for that's a great tip for any performer, right? Is to like maybe do something that captures everyone's attention off the bat. So right there, that bachata or chata right away, you got them like especially big boy like me. You know, I love my. I recently started getting into horchata. I didn't like it before, but for whatever reason, as I got older, I liked like the cinnamony ones a little bit. But not to go off topic, that's a great. You know what I mean? Detail, and that's exciting, man. So how many stand-up shows have you done? Have you done a lot of them, or and do you currently still do stand-up, or is it something that you did at one point but you want to take a break from that?
So to be honest with you, so I've been doing stand up for like about 7 years straight. And I had like my own Monday night shows. And one time I talked to one of the guy who runs it, the coordinator. He actually allowed me to have a 30-minute piece to do my stand up. It was the longest piece I've ever done. And he brought people from the Tribune, Chicago Tribune. It was a bigger stage, a bigger audience. And he's like, I need you to give me like the best hook in the beginning, and your ending has to be the best. I was like, damn, you really getting me. And I was so nervous. I was like, bro, this is a new group. And he's like, I need you to make a new material. He gave me only 2 days. He said, this might be your debut. I was like, all right, let's make it happen. I ain't gonna lie, I had 2 shots because I was nervous. And I did it, and it was really good. I was really happy. But you know, one thing I gotta say, so in Vegas, I did one show. I used to work at like a big company, and I had like 30 people working with me. So one day after we closed, I told everybody if I could share a stand up, and they gave me a little mic, and I actually, shared the story, and I made everybody laugh. And I do want to get back. And for those who don't know, I want to share, a little tip. So when you do open mics, I recommend going to Laugh Factory. There's one in Chicago, Vegas, even California. The best part when you actually do an open mic for Laugh Factory, they are already recording you. So if you do a really good job, you actually get a job for Laugh Factory, and they hire you. And every time you go up, you're getting paid. So I recommend people to do that one because there's more opportunity. Now, just understand that there's going to be people who are in there who are also trying to be comedians. They're not going to laugh at your joke because they want the job too. So be ready. So what I did, I kind of cheated. I did the Laugh Factory. I invited 30 of my family members to show up, and they all cheered. So that's one thing I would say to people that are really trying to do stand up. You gotta get out of your comfort zone. And like my cousin was saying, you want to be different. You want to stand out. So there's got to be something they're going to remember. And it's just like a presentation when you go to school. My professor once said this: the person or the audience are only going to remember the beginning of your intro and your closing. They never remember the middle because it's too much info. So if you could say something that's so like memorable or funny or catchy in the beginning, they'll never forget you. So you're already in their head. Now, one tip I do want to share, Primo, if I can share real quick. So when I did stand up, one of the big ones I did was Comedy Sports. It's also next to Second City, but it's known for stand up. We had Wild 'N Out come in every Monday sometimes, and one of my coach, Jamie Campbell, one of the great guys, he does commercials for KFC. He told me, he's like, look, man, any big comedian that goes up, he's like, after the show, invite him for a drink and start talking about what you like, and add a little kind of like pick at his brain, like what you thought could make it more better, maybe, or maybe a suggestion without, hurting his feelings. So I never thought about that. And so I started doing that. I met one of the guys from Wild 'N Out, the white guy. I don't know if you remember, really skinny. We were sitting at the bar, and he just finished a funny piece. It was so funny. I was like, man, I got him a Jack and Coke. We're just drinking. And I was like, man, how long you been doing this? And you look like you weren't nervous. And he was like, I was kind of nervous. He said it was my first time doing it for Chicago. So I'm like, yo, you did a great job. So I always recommend that. I feel like if you got an opportunity, take that person out, and don't be like those other, I guess, fans that just say, hey, can I take a picture? Because it gets annoying, but treat them like a human and you're gonna have more results.
Man, that's incredible. I think that's a great gem. And seeing with your background, seeing the things that you've done, you're right, man. The more you kind of can relate to somebody that's in the same world, because being an entertainer, whether it's music, stand up, acting, it's a whole different world, man. And like you said earlier, what I wanted to say was that you can see the competition when you're out doing a thing, whether it's stand up, whether it's so competitive. So you got to still keep a level head and understand, like you said, not everyone's going to have the best intentions, but you still got to go full throttle with your heart. And it sounds like that's what you've done. So I commend you for that. Real quick, I wanted to I wanted to ask you about Take One, Pass It Back. I remember in the very beginning, I even remember a summer I came to stay with you. You were talking about putting something like that together. So to see you follow through and carry over the years and have you've had different guests, a number of incredible people that are from the Chicago area. Yeah, tell me more about that, kind of how it got started and where you're at with it now.
So, as you guys know, Eddie Schaefer used to tease me about the show. He used to say, "Take one, pass it back." That's how he always said it. But I gotta say, so like my cousin said, "Take one, pass it back" has been like my baby, my treasure. I started with my best friend Victor Colasso, and to be honest with you, this is crazy. We started back April of 20 yeah, April 2014, September, my bad, September 2014. And it's crazy because right now, starting, this month, this is the 8th year of the making. And we started actually the first YouTube sitcom ever in history in Chicago. To be consistent for 8 years, for so many episodes, for so many seasons. And the thing is, speaking of rap, Dre Marro is a big rap star. I always look up at Wu-Tang. I told him before, Wu-Tang, what I like is that it was different neighborhoods, different backgrounds, but they came together in unison. They made a lot of albums, but the sad part is that they broke up because of money, which it happens a lot. But they're not together. But when I look at my story and my group, right, is that we went through a lot. We went through some ups and downs like any relationship, any company, any business. But at the end of the day, when it came down to rehearsals or acting, we talked it out and we made sure we came back and try to resolve it before it kind of build up. And I think that's what makes it a powerful group. So I always tell people, like, I hear, you're going to know this too, Dre Marro. You're going to hear a lot of people, and I'm going to be real to the fans out there too, that people are like, "Oh, I want to start this thing on YouTube. Oh, I want to do that." And I always tell them, "You're not going to do it." And they're like, "Why are you being negative?" I said, "Because you don't have a timeline. You got to make it happen." I didn't have that, I want to, no, I don't have all that time. I'll be like, I got to make it. I'm going to do it. Give me 2 months. That's it. If I don't do it in 2 months, it's not going to happen. And I think you have to put that in your brain of a timeline. Because if you don't, you let time go by and you're just going to forget. Like the best example I could say, my cousin Dre Marro, he started YouTube way longer than me. And to see him from the beginning, right, until now, you can see that big, like, you adapted so much. You're like, man, this guy's a superstar already. But one thing I can always say, Primo, that you had until this day, for those who don't know, I still remember, is my cousin, one of his favorite, one of my favorite song, and when he used to be called Bullet, I used to love this hook that he made back in the days. It was like, "This is my dream. This is my dream. Freddy Krueger can't see. Now he can't see. I'm introducing you to UBULLET. It's Bullet, baby."
Yeah, yeah,
You know what
that
I'm
was
saying?
a homie. That was a little homie. Yeah.
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 But yeah, man. So for those who don't know, like I said, Take One, Pass It Back. The season finale will come out in 2 weeks from now. I'm really excited, sad. We're closing the chapter. We do have like 7 videos left, but I'm really happy that this is happening, you know?
Yeah. No, you have a lot of history with Take One Pass It Back. I remember even, we grew up with social media. So even in the MySpace days and in the beginning of Facebook, I remember people posting about it or seeing it on YouTube. So to see you guys carry that through and to see you, like you said, have that determination to actually get off your butt and do something. Because that's the thing. A lot of people have ideas, or a lot of people say things, and I'm guilty of that too. We're all human. We all do it. But the less times that you let your ideas just walk away from you and you actually get up and do something about them, the more chance you have to actually become somebody and do something. And we all have greatness within us. I love to tell people that because a lot of people out here think that you need the golden ticket to get into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. And you can make your chocolate right in your own kitchen. You know what I mean? And that's I love that ambition that you have. Man, it's incredible to see, and thank you so much for the flowers, man. I appreciate you telling me, giving me that respect because I know you know what it takes to get to that level. So, and for those that don't know, the song is called "Hello, Homie," and that was one of my first songs I got to put on iTunes, and I don't think it's even out anymore because there's a lot behind the scenes stuff that we got to get into. But that was from that point I learned a lot about how to actually release music. Back in the day it wasn't so easy to just release something. A lot of younger people don't understand that to get your music or to get any kind of music, it was such a treat. You know what I'm saying? So to even put music out and have people be able to listen to it on iTunes or YouTube was kind of cool, and the progression of that you can definitely see. So. Real quick, I want to say thank you to everyone that has been tuning the live. We had a few people in here leaving comments. I try to wave as many people as I can. Shout out to Eddie Schaefer. He's our homie. I got connected with him through you. So, I appreciate that. And he's an incredible guy as well, a funny comedian. I want to ask you one more thing, and then we'll get into the comments from the listeners and the viewers. If there's, and this is a really deep question, I think. But I think that it's a good one. If you had an opportunity to redo Take One Pass It Back, or redo even Outlet to Reality, or redo your comedy, your run as a comedian, and that you're still doing, is there anything that you would do differently from the beginning, as far as presentation, or maybe would you have focused on one of them a little bit more, or are you just completely satisfied with how things have gone so far?
I'm gonna be honest. It's a great question, man. You probably the first person to ever ask that. I'll be honest. I don't think I would change anything because I got 2 things to say. I feel like with Take One Pass It Back, it was a moment of growth to really test, my skills. One thing I learned that I never forgot is so for those who are trying to direct or have I guess a show, you have to get the okays from businesses, whether it's mom and pop or a tattoo shop or a nightclub. And one thing you have to know is that when you go up to these places, they may charge you 200 an hour or maybe 2 hours for $200 to use their facility. Now, because I was, learning and, I come back, my grandfather was a salesman. My father became a salesman. I have that in me. So what I did was I had my little notebook and like a binder actually, dressed in a button-down shirt, with black pants. I kind of look like Pitbull, 305, and I came in and I told him, look, I love your place. And I talked to the owner, of course. And I said, I would love to do a film here. I'm going to be honest, it may take like 4 hours. And while we do this, I feel like at the end of the episode, we'll put like a little Snapchat of your business and then put the address so people that like the scene or want to try it out, they can come to it. So I'm pretty much making you a free commercial. And that was my hook. And to be honest, the businesses, they love the idea. And I never once had to pay money to use a facility, especially from Take One Pass It Back. And we're talking about 4 to 6 hours and with nobody there. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we can't have nobody because if we hear too much noises, it'll capture the sound with the boom mic and it'll mess up the audio. So that's one thing from Take One Pass It Back. It taught me about business and not being afraid. Now, with Outlet to Reality, this is a big one. So to be honest, I started. I don't know if you remember Dre Marro. When I started, it was I had you and I had my co-host Hamid. You remember?
Yeah, yeah. He was a cool
Oh,
dude.
cool guy. So when I started with him, he was pretty much my mentor. He's been doing podcasts for more than I think a couple of years. He's been in the radio station for a good minute, maybe like about 7 or 10 years plus, and he has a following of like 3,000 people, like always tuning in. And I asked him, I want to do a podcast too, and I don't know how to do it. Can you show me? And he was like, yeah, I mean, we could do it together. And, I could show you the way to do. I said, okay. So he showed me, and I finally got the hang of it. And the thing is, he really loves the podcast through audio, not video. And I like the video because people can see my facial expression. So throughout time, I got more comfortable, and I was able to tell him, like, thank you for your time, thank you for teaching me. I think I could do this on my own. And he's like, look, whenever you need any help or any questions, let me know. I'll help you out. So you're always my friend, and I'll never forget that. And I want to tell this for all my fans out there, even your fans too, Dre Marro. So for a podcast I've been doing, one of the biggest secrets I'm going to share to everybody, you want to record in a week. I'm gonna give you a secret. If you can record somebody in, like what I do, I'm personally, I record about 12 people a week. So that means I'm gonna do a lot of editing. But here's the secret: I'm already, when I finish the editing, I'm 12 weeks ahead. So I'm not worried about, oh snap, I gotta post one next week, next Tuesday. I already got it done. I just gotta worry about the marketing. That's it. So for those who want to do the podcast, you gotta be consistent. And I really feel like I wouldn't change anything. One little fact real quick. For those who don't know, I'm one of the first and only Latino Latino Jew to have a podcast in history. I had Michelle Obama's first cousin, who happens to be a rabbi, one of the biggest leaders in the whole in the world, pretty much. And it's crazy because there's not a lot of representation of Latinos or people of color that are Jewish in the media. So a lot of people say that I'm like the little, how you say it, like the Miles Morales for the Spider-Verse. You know what I'm saying? Because they
Yeah,
haven't made a feature. You know what I'm saying?
I see that. Yeah, yeah.
What were
No,
you gonna say, brother?
no, no. I was saying I can see that. Like, I get what you mean. Like, you're kind of stepping into new territory, and it's exciting. The only other Jew or Jewish person that I can remember that has been in like the light is Geraldo Rivera. I think he's Jewish and Hispanic, but that's the last person that I can remember, and that he didn't have a podcast. So you're stepping into a new thing where you have a podcast, you're a comedian. So that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Thank you, Primo. Thank you. But yeah, man, you really hit me, man. And I'm gonna be real. You're the first person of the year. I'm gonna be real, that has interviewed me. So I look, my boy Chino, he came through. So guys who don't know, my boy Chino, he has his own podcast. Let's talk about you. One of the best ones. One of my brothers too. I just had to give a shout out because I saw his name. He's live with us. So
What's up?
we're making headlights.
Hey, no, thank you, man. It's an honor. Like I said, first of all, your family. So family first in my heart, and for me, family is more than just blood. Though it's a connection of people that want to see the other person win, that are going to be there for that person. So everybody that's in the comments, they're in the Lionheart family. You know what I'm saying? And you as well. You're in that. So I know you've worked hard for where you're at, and I know you're going to continue to work hard. I know Outlets Reality Podcast is going to reach new lengths, new levels, and I can't wait to witness it. Before we get off the air, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody, or air. I'm talking like I'm. Before we get off the live, I want to say thank you to everybody that's joined, that given us comments, that has been watching with us, that has been just a part of what we've been doing. This is a very special 4th edition of the Lionheart Live Talk live stream. Real quick, do you want to make any last comments, and do you want to drop your social media or where people can find your content or where they can get in touch with you?
Yeah. Well, Primo, before I answer that, you think I can pick at your brain real quick? Ask you a one question real quick.
Sure.
I wanted to ask you what made you move from, because I know your fans want to know this, from Wisconsin to Chicago. Was it something was it the tacos that got you wanting to come, or was it the music, the vibe? Well, you got to spill the beans, You see?
I would say that a big way to answer that is I felt like Kenosha was a great place. It's home. It's always going to be home. So I'm always going to be there. I'm always going to represent where I'm from and say where I'm from. The cool thing about Chicago is it's just a bigger pond. So if you're a fish, so in a little pond it's fun, but you want to get to the bigger ponds, and meet more fish and do more things. So I guess that's the easiest way I can answer it, is that there's just more people in Chicago. So there's more hip hop artists. There's more things going on. And if I want to take my music to the next level, I got to be around the best of the best. And Chicago's a windy city, and, the Midwest has incredible, artists from Twisted to Common to Kanye West. Artists out here are just, not to take anything away from my hometown, but this is, next level. So, and I plan to continue to reach different markets, different networks. I've already done things in the South. I've done shows in Atlanta, Georgia. I've done things in Texas. And so I plan to continue to travel and just network with as many people as I can.
That's what's up, Primo. Hey, when you come into Vegas, I've been waiting for you. I got the bed right here.
Oh, it's been about 2 years, man. I did Las Vegas Food Festival. It was a great time. Shout out to my wife. She came out with me, Miss America, First Lady Hip Hop. I know she's watching. We had a great time, man. We did the show. We networked with a lot of people. We just been busy, but I definitely this year would love to come back out there, kick it with you, meet some people, shake some hands, and again, just build this empire with the people that love me, and you're one of them. So, yeah.
Thank you, Primo. And for those who, like you said, like to answer your question, man, for those who don't know, I got the podcast Outlet to Reality, the Holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up?
Yeah.
Every Tuesday. And, Take One, Pass It Back is every Friday. The TV show, the best YouTube sitcom. You're going to love it. We got drama, comedy, romance, everything you need for breakfast. We got you. You know what I'm saying? Just bring the popcorn. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I love your energy. I love your ambition. I love your drive. Real quick, man, where can we, if we want to stay in touch with Yaakov, if we want to, watch Outlet to Reality, what's your social media, or where can people find you?
So I'm on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, the Outlet to Reality. My Snapchat is Take One Pass It, and my TikTok is at Yaakov28. But yeah.
I see Eddie. He said, "Vegas baby, fuck Chicago." He talking shit. Shout out to Eddie, man. Shout out to everyone that's tuned in, that was a part of tonight's Lionheart Live Talk. Yaakov, this will not be the last time. We're going to do more interviews and more episodes together. But I was pleased to have you tonight. To everybody that's watching, I hope you all have a great night. I hope you have a good night, my boy. And stay tuned for next week, next episode.